The day we moved into our new home on that crisp, fall morning, I had no idea that my life was about to intertwine with a tale so chilling it would forever haunt my dreams. Our neighborhood was a portrait of suburban bliss, each house a replica of the next, manicured lawns gleaming under the sun's gentle rays. All but one, the house across from ours, a stark contrast to its pristine neighbors. It stood there, a relic of another time, its garden overrun with weeds, windows like hollow eyes, and the paint peeling from its once grand facade. That was number 47 Ravenbrook, the home of Mr. Halloway. In the beginning, I knew nothing of the man labeled as the town's recluse, only catching glimpses of his shadow behind tattered curtains, or watching him wander through his wild garden under the moonlight. The adults whispered when his name was mentioned, words like strange and tragic, often used to describe the man who lived in solitude. My curiosity, as relentless as the tides, drew me to him, an enigma waiting to be understood. Despite my parents' warnings to stay away from number 47, I found myself drawn to the mystery wrapped within its walls. It wasn't just the house, but the peculiar activities that seemed to occur when the moon was high in the sky. Lights flickered, shadows danced, and sometimes chilling melodies drifted into the night air, so beautiful, yet full of sorrow. One evening, as the wind whispered secrets and the trees shivered, I heard the haunting strains of a piano. The melody was like a siren's song, and I found myself stepping onto the forbidden property, pulled toward the source of the sound. The house seemed to sense my presence. The front door creaked open as if operated by unseen hands, inviting me into its darkened interior. The air inside was stale, the scent of decay mingling with the dust motes that danced in the slivers of moonlight. I followed the music, each note a step deeper into the belly of the house, until I found myself in a room where an old piano sat. There, in the flickering candlelight, was Mr. Halloway. His fingers caressed the keys, producing the melancholic tune, but his eyes, those hollow pits, were fixed on me. "You shouldn't have come here," he said, his voice a mixture of rough edges and unexpected gentleness. I should have run, should have screamed, but I stood rooted to the spot, captivated by the sorrow that seemed to bleed from him. He told me a story then, his words painting a picture of a life touched by joy and then stolen by grief. He spoke of his wife, a pianist, who had been the light of his life. Her untimely death had shattered his world, driving him to the brink of madness in his quest to bring her back. He delved into forbidden practices, ancient rituals that promised to breach the divide between this world and the next. His house, he confessed, was haunted by her presence, but it wasn't a gentle spirit that lingered in the shadows. It was something twisted by pain and anger, trapped between worlds because of his actions. The music was her voice, the sudden chills her touch, and the creeping shadows her prison. As he shared his tragic tale, the room grew colder, the shadows stretching into impossible shapes. I felt her before I saw her, a presence filled with rage and despair. She materialized from the darkness, a spectral figure no longer resembling the woman Mr. Halloway loved. She was something else, something that hated the living. She screamed, a sound of pure agony, and lunged toward me. Mr. Halloway, with a strength that belied his frame, pushed me out of the way, positioning himself between me and the twisted spirit. The last thing I saw before I ran from the house was his resigned expression, as if he had always known his fate was to be entwined with the monster he had created. I don't remember much after fleeing the house, only the sensation of absolute terror and the echoes of a struggle behind me. I was found by neighbors, huddled on the sidewalk, my words a jumbled mess of horror and disbelief. When others dared to venture into number 47, they found nothing but silence. Mr. Halloway was gone, as was the malevolent presence in the house. He had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only the memories of his tragic past. We didn't stay much longer in that neighborhood. The whispers, the stares, The unspoken questions were too much for my family. But even as we left, I knew I would never forget the house at 47 Ravenbrook, or the man who taught me that sometimes the line between love and obsession, between this world and the next, is as thin as a whisper in the dark. And now, even in the light of day, when a piano's melody drifts on the breeze, I remember the haunted eyes of Mr. Halloway, and the night I learned that real horror doesn't live in storybooks or movies. It exists next door, hidden behind closed doors, waiting in the shadows of our everyday lives.